Previously, on keeping up with the Kenya Kwanza government.
Sio ni ujinga, ama ni upumbavu, ama ni yote mbili.
So what is happening today in State House is a shame. It's a national shame that State House has become the theater of absurd. It's a center of corruption and money laundering.
If there is a political cage match Kenyans would pay to see, it is William Ruto versus Rigathi Gachagua. Once allies, the president and his former deputy have morphed into bitter rivals, and on September 12th, they staged competing shows of strength, barely a few kilometers apart. At State House, Ruto, flanked by his new deputy president Kithure Kindiki, hosted Murang'a delegates. Across town in Karen, Gachagua welcomed the very same MCAs and leaders from Murang'a County. The county that helped deliver Ruto's 2022 win has now become the battlefield of his feud with Gachagua.
Ati nitawachana na watu wa Murang'a. Those people wanaota ndoto ya mchana. Sasa mimi nataka niwaulize, watu walinipatia kura mpaka nikakuwa rais, nitawachana na wao kwa sababu gani? Ama namna gani, my friends?
In Karen, Gachagua came out swinging, accusing Ruto of raiding funds meant for education, health and development to bankroll corruption disguised as mobilization.
When people are suffering because SHA is not working, when university students are at home, when students from secondary schools are at home, primary schools are not functioning because there is no money for capitation. All this money has been stolen and diverted for corruption and bribery. And State House has become a scene of crime.
He claimed State House guests were lured with fat envelopes in exchange for pledging loyalty to Ruto's re-election bid.
You know, today what is happening in State House is pure corruption and bribery. The other day, William Ruto was complaining that members of parliament are asking for bribes. But he is a briber in chief in his country. The other day, he called the people of Kiambu and spent 60 million shillings. A week after, he called the people of Meru, spent another 60 million shillings. Today, he's going to spend 60 million shillings. He's giving people 10,000 each. That is 180 million. When hospitals in Murang'a have no drugs.
Kariara MCA backed him, alleging MCAs were quietly promised 300,000 Kenyan shillings each just to show up.
It is good to inform the country that all of us received invitations to go to State House today, and all MCAs were promised that if we honor that invitation and we go to State House, we are going to be given each 300,000 shillings. But these honorable members from the Murang'a County Assembly decided that they are not going to take 300,000 as a bribe, which we know very well is coming from corruption. It is money from proceeds of corruption. It is money that is supposed to go to capitation. It is money that is supposed to go to healthcare. But instead, it is being dished out as bribes in State House.
Ruto, meanwhile, fired back. He accused Gachagua of stalking division in Mount Kenya and tried to win back Murang'a with a checklist of government projects, housing estates, youth programs, market upgrades.
Ati sasa ile agenda kubwa wako naye, ati wanataka kuja kusimamisha housing, wakuja wasimamishe universal health coverage, wasimamishe funding ya university. Hiyo ni strategy. Sio ni ujinga, ama ni upumbavu, ama ni yote mbili. Wakati nimefika hii ofisi mlinituma, nikakuta wakora wamejaa hapa, wanaibia watu pesa. Naambia wewe, nitakupeleka Dubai, anakunyang'anya pesa, unapelekwa Dubai, badala ya ile kazi uliambiwa unapatiwa kazi nyingine ambaye ni ya taabu. Wanapeleka watu sehemu fulani. Hawa wakora wote National Employment Authority nikafanya clean up. tukaondoa kampuni karibu 100 ambazo zilikuwa kampuni za utapeli. Pale kwa NHIF, mama mboga, mtu ya bodaboda, mtu mdogo alikuwa analipishwa shilingi 500. Ukipima mapato ya mama mboga kwa mwezi ni shilingi 5,000 pengine. Sasa ukifanya 500 kwa shilingi 500, shilingi 5,000 inakuwa 10%. Si ndio? Wale mnafanya hesabu. Ni 10%. Alafu sisi wadosi ambayo tumeketi hapa mbele pamoja na mimi tulikuwa tunalipa 1,700. Every big township in Kenya today, the largest housing estate ni affordable housing. Kisumu, Homa Bay, Eldoret, Nakuru, Kericho, Murang'a, hapa Makenji, kule Nyeri, mkienda Ruringu pale karibu na Ruringu tunajenga nyumba 5,000 hapo Nyeri town. Tunajenga nyumba Machakos, Mombasa, everywhere. Tuko na sites 215 sites across Kenya. Mlinipatia hii kazi ama namna gani? Na mnataka kujua hii kazi mlinipatia nimefanya imefika wapi? Si hapo ndio kipimo iko? Nikipita hiyo mtihani si tunaendelea mbele? Ama namna gani? Tuko pamoja? Nasikizeni, mimi nimechaguliwa. Mimi nimekuwa mbunge mara 3. So mtihani ya maendeleo mimi siwezi anguka. Pengine mtihani ingine. Mtihani ya maendeleo I cannot. Kama kuna mtu akuja aseme agenda yake ni gani, mpango yake ni gani, atuambie sera yake. Si ndio? Ile tumefanya kwa kilimo, mahali tumefikisha, ni nini anaweza kufanya bora zaidi kuliko vile tumefanya? Na ni kwa sababu gani hawajafanya siku walikuwa na nafasi? Watueleze. Mambo hii ya ajira ya vijana ya housing haikufanyika miaka hii yote. Sisi ndio tumefanya. Wao watafanya namna gani?
But the numbers that mattered most weren't in his speech. They were in the empty seats. Of 7 Murang'a MPs, only 2 showed up at State House according to reports. Out of 35 MCAs, just 4, the county senator, Joe Nyutu, skipped Ruto's meeting altogether and instead showed up at Gashagua's.
That the move of calling people to State House will not change things. In any case, only about 4,000 people have been called to State House. Murang'a has a population of about 1 million people. And so we want to say we stand here in solidarity with the second Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, whose leadership we trust and whose leadership we believe is going to deliver this country. He's our presidential candidate.
On the other hand, the owner of the county, Governor Murang'a, ghosted both events.
Every county, and we have seen a lot of focus in the Mount Kenya region because we know that for you is simple politics.
In a political culture where regional leaders usually line up behind the president, the empty seats in State House were hard to ignore. For Gachagua, they were proof that Murang'a still leans in his way.
I really want to commend these great leaders from Murang'a, and I ask the people of Murang'a to identify leaders who are selfless and who cannot sell them. The few leaders from Murang'a who are selling the community and the residents are greedy and only thinking about themselves. And I've come to the conclusion that we have a few leaders in this region who, if the price is right, they can even sell their own mother. It's really a shame.
I salute our members of parliament and the leaders of Murang'a County for standing firm. Ni kweli si kweli? Si huyu beti ya sawa? Ni fire si fire? Ni fire si fire? Ni fire si fire? Na mheshimiwa wa Maua je? Si ni fire?
For President Ruto, they were a reminder that in Mount Kenya, loyalty is no longer guaranteed.
Ile kazi mlinipatia kama kiongozi wa taifa letu la Kenya is a responsibility I take very seriously. na ndio sababu I have a report card ya kuwaeleza mahali hiyo kazi imefika, na bado niko na miaka 2 ya kunyorosha mpaka ikae sawa sawa.